What's up, guys? How you doing? It's a lovely Friday here in Southern California. My week was complete dog shit mixed with a little bit of depression and drinking. We're not going to go into all that right now because I have a great guest today. This this woman is a true legend in comedy, and from the few times I met her at the store, she can't pick me out of anybody because she doesn't remember me, but she's a very nice person too. I want to bring in Miss Felicia Michaels. Hi, Felicia. I think you're muted.
There we go.
There you go. How are you?
Good. I'm good. How are
Good.
you?
I'm good. Just trying to grasp everything. You know what I mean? Things opening back up, and dealing with the kids with Zoom, and just what kind of everybody else is doing.
Yeah, it's an odd thing, right? That it's coming back open and you have all these fears, maybe everyone's moved past me, or that's how I feel. I mean, I think it's normal.
I peaked during quarantine, but I don't know what the peak is.
Right.
So how have you been? I see that you're kind of getting back out there and doing some stuff.
I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm going to work in New York at the Stand on Mother's Day, and then I'm going to be in Austin, Texas, and I think I'm doing the Creek in the Cave, and I'm going to do Red Band's secret show.
Nice, very cool. Yeah, they've literally turned Austin, Texas into West Hollywood Comedy Store type environment over there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel fortunate that I'm going to go there or get the opportunity to go there and shake everybody's hands.
Yeah, no, that's good. So what I want to go into some of your past, because I saw you on the documentary. I saw you on the documentary about the Comedy Store, and I love that place. I've been able to perform 3 times there.
Oh yeah?
Only in the belly room though, that's
my favorite room, by the way. The belly room is the best room. The original room is can be very hard.
Well, that's
and
the main
room. Yeah, the original room is like doing to me like the Comedy Cellar in New York. Like, it's a lot of pressure, and I'm going to be there tonight. But I feel that way about I still have fun. But the belly room, no one gives a shit, and you can really experiment and do all sorts of cool stuff. No Botox for me during the pandemic, by the way. No bueno.
Oh. Wow, you look great.
I'm like, I don't know about
that. So when did you get to where did you start comedy?
I started comedy in Colorado Springs, Colorado, but I probably it's probably Colorado Springs, Colorado. And it was I had this boyfriend. I was 18 years old, and I was working at a strip bar, and called the Peppermint Lounge on Nevada Avenue in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And this really weird dude with a curly mullet came in, and it turns out he was like a comedian that kind of tried to run for mayor of Colorado Springs. And so he asked me out, and then we were just kind of hanging out, and then we moved in together pretty quick. And then one time he took me for the first time to go to the Denver Comedy Works, which had just opened. And so he was performing, and there was a woman on the show, and she wasn't, she's new, but you're 18 years old and just full of shit. And I'd had like the first 3 drinks of my life, and I was like, oh, and he was like, it's hard, and I was like, I can do it. And he's like, so he made this bet, and then I did it. And I did it the first time at this place called Godfather's Pizza. No, it wasn't Godfather's Pizza. It was called Godfather's. It was like a rock and roll club. So I did it there, and it went well. I think that's the only reason why I stuck with it, because it was the first thing I ever did in my life we didn't seem that bad. I mean, I was
Yeah.
never like one of those kids that like was really good at, I joined everything, but I was just bad at everything. And so it was the first thing in my life where people responded in the way I wanted them to.
That's awesome. So Denver Comedy Works, is that where you met Mr. Joey Coco Diaz, Uncle Joey, or did you meet
Right.
him here? Because he
Uh,
worked there, right?
oh yeah. So pretty quick. It's kind of but we got time. Pretty quick. I left Colorado and then I went to Los Angeles and I became a regular at the Comedy Store. And then by the time I was 21, I was a regular at the Comedy Store. And then I was starting to middle and feature and headline and open all over the country. And there weren't a lot of women doing it then. And then I was headlining because I had one Star Search, which was just fucking stupid that I was the one that won it that year because I had maybe two clean jokes. Like you had to be like super squeaky clean because
Yeah.
it was like, it was kind of like America's Got Talent of its day, but you
Sure.
had to, it's family oriented, like,
Yeah, I think
and
Brad Garrett won it one year. I think Brad Garrett. I remember watching it as a
he
kid.
won it the first year. I think he
Was it
won
the
it
first year?
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I won it the last year or two, maybe the second to the last year of they've done it a couple of times since then. But
Were you on the one? Were you on the one? Did you beat Dennis Miller? Because I think Dennis Miller was on Star Search too.
no, Dennis, that was before my time. So there, like, it took a good because I mean, truth be told, by the time I did Star Search, they went through anyone that had 5 minutes of clean jokes, right? So by the time they got around to me, because I had been a filthy comedian. That was kind of what I was known for. So I was just like, fuck it, I'll do 3 minutes, right? And then it just kind of happened, But I had so few clean jokes that comics at the Comedy Store would come up to me and they'd be like, hey, you might want to use one of my jokes. And I'm like, I can't use your jokes. Everyone already thinks I'm an idiot. If I use your jokes to win $100,000, I would never fucking live that down,
Yeah.
But there was a part of me that was like, yeah, I could use some jokes.
Sure. You would have been the original Carlos Mencia.
Yeah, fair. Anyway, but winning that allowed me to become a national headliner there, but I think by the time I was 28. So then I was traveling all over and I was back at the Denver Comedy Works, which, by the way, the home club you start out in is the last club that'll ever headline you, unless you have some miracle thing happen to you with an audience like the cable guy. What's his name? Dan
Whitney.
Dan
right?
Whitney. Very nice man, by the way. So anyway, so I was headlining and there was this guy that was the opener and just a natural, just a supernatural storyteller. And I, when the owner was paying me in cash and we were just counting out the cash or whatever, and I was just, shooting the shit, because it was kind of like, I'm back at the Denver Comedy Works, bitches. It was a very cool moment. But I was like, hey, that opener guy, like he's pretty funny. Like you should work that guy more. Didn't think a thing about it. Just like you just see people, you just go, hey, that guy, you know what I mean, or that girl, or don't discount the weirdo and darkness in the corner. That guy might be the one. You know what I mean? So years go by. I quit comedy, like for almost 10 years. I had kids. And then I got back in, I got divorced, and like no one would talk to me because my ex-husband was in the business. So they're not going to, discourage that relationship by saying hi to his ex-wife.
He was in the business like what? Oh, so he was actually like a main player then, because you said people wouldn't talk to you because of him. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
And fair enough. Well, that's just the way it is, That's just it's okay. It's the way it is. I mean, it sucked at the time.
Sides in divorces.
Pardon?
I said you always seem to choose sides in divorces, even with friends. Like when a couple divorces.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when I got divorced, I called up 3 sets of friends that he had brought into the, situation, and I was like, "You guys fucking rock, but you're gonna take a side. I'm not mad at you, but I just love you and have a good life. I mean, what are you gonna do, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, so I was sitting there with 2 kids, like, man, what the fuck happened to me? Like, this is some bullshit. And it was very ugly divorce. And then I was like, I need to just talk about it. And so I started to try to get back into comedy, but it was pretty hard, because all the friends I had now were his friends in comedy. And then Joey Diaz, out of the blue, called me up. And at first I was like, Joey Diaz, like what? And then he's like, yeah, and then it started to come back to me. Oh, like, but this is like he was struggling then at that point too, like he had come over some hardships as well. And then so he's like, you want to start a podcast? And so I think he asked me because I was more towards his age and as a kindness, but also during the 10 years I took off, I did a lot of photography and I worked at a digital capture firm. So like when they do big ad campaigns, they shoot right into the computer. You know what I mean? They're tethered.
Got
Sometimes, it all changes around, but I was like one of the assistants. And so I was very, I wasn't as savvy as everybody else at my job, but I was savvy enough to where I could understand how to put a podcast together, technically. And so that's what we did. And to this day, even though we've had our ups and downs and like any relationship or friendship, he's like still one of my best friends.
I love that guy so much.
Yeah,
He's so
yeah.
cool. I mean, I only know him just from hanging out at the store a little bit. No real personal connection, but we communicate a little bit back and forth on Facebook here and there though. But he what you guys put together was just awesome. Or I should use his word, tremendous. It was tremendous.
Oh yeah. It was a big learning curve because like I don't like TikTok. I'm not the girl that's gonna fucking do a dance move and be, needy like that. My neediness is in a different way, you know what I mean? Like I just want to say something horrific so you'd be like, get the fuck away from me. And I'm all like, yay. You know what I mean? Like my neediness isn't like, like that.
Yeah, mine either. I can't. I
know.
can't dance well. I have 2 left feet,
I know.
and I can't lip sync very well. I feel like you have to be good at lip syncing to do TikTok videos.
And I'm not mad at it because that's a skill. Like, what is
It
the girl,
is.
Sarah Cooper? She does it right. Is that her name? The girl that did Trump all the time on social media. She has a show now, I think, on
I think it
Amazon
is.
or
I think it
HBO.
is Sarah Cooper. Yeah.
Yeah. Total. That's a fucking talent, man. That's
It is.
such a talent. Yeah.
It is. I mean, look, Ashley
Really
Simpson
is.
couldn't do it. Remember, Ashley Simpson tried to lip sync on SNL. It was awful.
Okay. Awkward reference. Okay.
Well, we were talking
Bring up
about
a fucking Ashley Simpson reference. I'm supposed to bring up the old references. You got to bring up new ones.
And next, we'll bring up a Terry Schiavo reference.
Jesus.
So when you were at the store, when you obviously auditioned for Mitzi, what was that like? What was it like getting on over there? Like at that time, because that was what 88, 87 when you.
No, I was made a regular, I believe, in 1985, and
85.
yeah, so it was scary, but at the same time, I was stripping down at the airport. You know what I mean? So it was like. And it was such a bonus to have that background because, frankly, the comedians at the Comedy Store were fucking jackals, and I was 21. So I was a stripper for like a year in Colorado, and then I came out to LA and in 1983, early 83 or something like that. And I worked at this place in downtown LA. Oh my God, I've never talked about this. It was like a dime a dance place. It was like very old school. Like, like you ever seen like those old school movies where a schleppy guy would be like, yeah, here's a dime, let's dance. And like from 1934 or some shit, right? but it was like this crazy lofted like disco, and it was just like, everybody would go there and it'd be like the prettiest loser chicks in LA. And then I went to another one, and that was there was like prostitution going on out of there. And then I was like, I think it's safer if I'm a stripper. You know what I mean? Like this place.
Yeah.
So, like you would sit in a little room, and then they would pay to get in, and then they would pick out a couple of girls. It'd be like $30, right? And then you sit there and you watch movies together in the movie room, or you go dance in the disco. And then it was a lot of Asian guys, and they would a lot of Asian mafia, and they
Oh,
would be like doing deals, and you know what I mean? It was crazy. It was
the
so cool though.
the Yakuza.
Well, I'm not saying, but it was a really trippy time to be in LA. So by the time I got bringing around to the Comedy Store, I had been around like a lot of guys in that, and that I had bouncers that would help me,
Mhm.
but that I learned very quickly. And no, and
Yeah.
no, you know what I mean? Because being a stripper at the age of 18, I mean, that was craziness in itself. So by the time I did get to the Comedy Store, I really did have an easier time than if I had just like come out right out of college, like so. I
Yeah.
know it's so weird. It's a weird thing to say because
Well, no, I mean, in a way, it makes perfect sense what you're saying, because you built, your skin was tough from being nude in front of these type of gentlemen. So then, if you got to go tell some dick jokes on a stage with your clothes on in front of some
right.
Neanderthals, you were good to go. It was nothing. It was
The fear wasn't men seeing my body naked. The fear was people seeing my thoughts naked. I got to write that down. Hold on.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm going to steal that from you. I'm going to Carlos Men steal that from you.
There you go.
You like that callback to that hacky reference? It's great.
He was one of the guys I started with, Carlos Mencia.
Phenomenal comic.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah. We all have our lessons to learn. He learned it. I'm not mad at him.
Where is that guy? I wonder. I mean, he's got to be around, right?
Like it's hard to tell because a lot of people kind of fell out a little bit during the pandemic, but they'll be back. Trust me.
Sure. A lot of people moved. A lot of people moved.
A lot of people moved to New York, Florida, Austin.
Yeah, I just had Jimmy Schubert on a couple weeks ago, and he packed up and moved to Florida too. So he's down there with
I was shocked
with Bruce Smirnoff and those
God.
guys.
Bruce Smirnoff. One time I did some stupid joke on TV, and he called me up and he's like, "You stole my joke about," I don't even remember what the fuck the joke was. And I was like, dude, really? Like, I never even met you. And he called me like in the middle of the night once, like in 1985 or something.
Oh my God.
They were so fucking, you should have seen how silly they were. I remember one time there used to be a place in LA on Ventura Boulevard called the Deli Smoker. And it was an open mic. And it was like on the verge of Studio City Encino, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And so there was a guy from Chicago, right? So I go up, and I have this. I'm 22 years old, and I have like the lamest bald joke, like like open mic, right? And I was bringing this other comic, a girl who wanted to be a comedian, who later on became this comic named Etta May. I don't know if you ever heard of her, Etta May. She used to do like a character, like, "Oh, I'm Etta May and farts, and like I like to eat donuts, and I'm out here."
Oh yeah, yes. You know what? I know the name, but I never.
Right. So I had met her in an acting class, and she's like, "I want to try comedy, but I'm so afraid." And I was like, "Just come with me." So we go to the Deli Smoker. I get on stage, do the ball joke. I get off. All the guys are hanging out, right? She's kind of hanging there too. And then the guy, I want to say Sam something, I don't know, but he comes up to me. He's like he's got to be like inching towards 40. And he's like, "I wrote that joke 15 years ago in Chicago, and you just stole it." And I was like, if you're worried about a ball joke, get the fuck out of the business, right? Like,
That's funny.
he jumps me. He jumps me, right? And then I was like, oh, okay. And then all these guys start. It was like kind of scary. All these guys pull him off, and then I see like Brenda in the corner, anime, and she's all like,
This guy attacked you? He physically attacked you over a joke. Oh my God. That
I
guy
know.
that guy clearly did not do enough writing, I guess, if he's
Yeah,
physically
yeah.
attack a woman over a joke. That's insane.
Isn't
What
that crazy?
Yeah, I shake my head at things like that because I would never do that. I don't even know if I would really even hit anybody up like that if they stole. I guess I would. I don't know. Who knows? Who cares?
What about if they stole your joke and did it on the Tonight Show?
Yeah, I'd be pissed, but I would
Would you
show.
would you hit them? Would you
Yeah,
attack them?
yes,
You
yes.
okay?
Yeah.
Shut up, then.
I would show up. I would show up at their house, yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What about if they offered to pay you for it and you're like, dude, that's my only good joke, and then they did it? You'd be fucking angry.
Yeah, I'd be angry, especially because
Yeah.
I'm almost 3 years into stand up.
Right.
I
I had a
started way late.
that happened to a friend of mine
Who?
who shall remain nameless.
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
gonna say.
All
Yeah.
right.
And he was pissed and he had a gun in his hand and we were like, oh shit. It was a good joke though.
Somebody stole his joke?
Someone offered a big comic that had been on the Tonight Show quite a few times, offered and you get the Tonight Show 6 times in a row, that you're talking
Big deal.
pristine, A jokes. Those are hard to put a set together with those, right? I mean, 8 times or something.
Yeah.
And so he asked my friend for one of his jokes, and my friend was like, I'm so broke, I could use that money, but it's one of my only really good jokes. It's kind of evergreen joke. And then that guy went on and did the jokes. They're both still my friends, by the way. But
Are they friends?
no, they're not friends. No.
Joke stealing, that's crazy. I mean, it's just like idea stealing too, in Hollywood and stuff,
Right.
where people steal shit all the time. It's just weird how you can sue somebody for the likeness of a film, but I don't think you could really sue another comic, or can you?
I don't know. I mean, the reality is, if you're that good of a joke writer, get mad, but you're gonna write other jokes.
Yeah, you'll just come up with
and
them.
karma always comes back on you.
It does.
Yeah.
Karma's a bitch. So what did you I know that I did a little research on you, and I know you did a couple episodes of Full House. Now, how did you get on that being a filthy comic? Like, did it just
right. I had just got an random audition, and this was before people didn't realize that Bob Saget was a really filthy comic. You know what I mean? But he was so clean cut and he was very funny. So you could kind of get away with stuff like working by the airport. I kept that locked down, that secret locked down. You know what I mean? And so they just didn't make the connection maybe necessarily, and I had won Star Search, so that was very apple pie. And I just want to audition, but I was going to go on the vacation the next day, so I was just like, I didn't have time to be. I don't like to act; it's not my thing. And so I was just like, I'm going on vacation. I have to do this so my manager doesn't get mad. You know what I mean? So I just went
you gotta be
it out and got the part. That was like a shocker.
How good looking was John Stamos?
He's a very handsome gentleman. I'm not mad at him. Yeah. But like when you date a girl and she's just a little bit too pretty for you.
Yeah, I'm married to one right now.
Okay, well there you go. Are you really?
Situation. Oh yeah, I peaked.
Oh wow, good for you.
I peaked with marriage. I'm one of those guys.
Well, you better behave.
Yeah, wait, hold on.
Well, there you go. So yeah.
I scored way above my league. I just hope I can hold on to it. hold
Yeah.
on to it, you know.
Right. There you go.
But yes, so
Well,
I
I
do
couldn't
know it.
even touch that. Okay.
Well, you
No, he's very
know.
nice and nice man also. But I had to kiss Dave Coulier. That was
Oh,
weird. That was
yeah,
kind of weird.
he's funny though.
He's a great guy.
He
He's a
seems
great
like
guy.
the nicest guy ever.
Very nice gentleman.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been doing comedy forever too. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
he's been around for a while. Now when you I gotta ask you this one. I gotta circle back around and ask you real quick about the Mitzi Shore audition. Who else got passed with you? Like in your, like, do you remember? Because sometimes, you know, some people would be in a group, you know, like that showcase evening or whatever, you know.
Right. No one else, I think, that night got passed with me because I don't have a I didn't, it was pretty quick. I didn't really know a lot of people. And the first time I went to the store, I couldn't even get in because I wasn't 21. Like I had to work at the airport until I could turn 21. I mean, I moved to LA when I was like 19. So I would do like open mics, but I couldn't even get into the clubs because there wasn't a lot of women doing it. So I'd be like, "Hi, I'm here to do open mic." They'd be like, hit the road, bitch." You know what I mean? It was kind of
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, that had to have been a tough go for women at that time, you know, or being one of the only one that was doing it at that time.
Well, there are other women there at that time. There was Tamayo Atsuki. There was Judy Gold came a few years after that from New York, where she had been started at, and Lois Bromfield, who went to write on Roseanne. There was women there, but there wasn't a lot. That's for sure.
Right, you guys were outnumbered.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, what do you got coming up? You got any plugs? You got a website? What's the website?
Yeah, just follow me on the big three: Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Felicia Michaels. I'm also on TikTok, and
Nice.
I have a comedy special on Amazon Prime called The Whole Story, and I have a documentary that I did where it's called Pervs, and it's like Felipe Esparza, Joey Diaz, Lori Kilmartin, Solomon Giorgio, it's great when you do projects on the down low is if you get people, and you never know who's going to hit it, that are just like a year or two like underneath hitting it, and you're like, would it be my project? And then 3 years later you're like, holy shit. So it's it's kind of like that. So
that's like this right now. I mean, what do you mean?
all right,
For sure.
right,
Like, I
yeah,
mean,
like you're gonna be big. You're gonna be big.
No.
2 years.
No. No, I won't. But thank you. That's so nice of you.
I try.
All right. So you're in New York next week, you said?
I'm in New York on Sunday, Mother's Day, at the Stand, and then I'll be hopefully at the Creek in the Cave and Red Band's Secret Show. That's part of the he's Death Squad, the Podfather, as they say, who is Rogan's first right hand guys. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. And then you're in the OR tonight.
Oh, I know. I have to post about that. I was so stoked when I was all like, it's going to be like 3 months before. I was so depressed like 2 days ago. I was like, yeah, they're going to put on everyone cool before me, and then I was like, yes!
That's great. That's great
Yeah.
that you're on. I wish I could come out and check that out, but prior engagements.
Well, that sounds like fun to me.
No, well, yeah, I mean, who knows? I don't know. I might have a nice date tonight with a pizza. Who knows? I got those two knuckleheads at the house, so I'm going to be watching Disney Plus.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Two boys, 7 and a 5-year-old. Colossal pains in the butt. Yeah.
Wait till they're 19 and 20.
Oh, is that how old yours are?
That's how old they were when the pandemic started. Now they're 20 and 21. So.
Wow. Now are they with you? They living with you, or are they off at school?
One still is. One's at school, and so yeah, that. But they were both home.
Oh man! Oh man! What do you got? What is that? A French bulldog behind you?
Yeah, I got 2 of them. One that's Otto, and then this one is Georgie.
Cute. She's got the coloring of my puggle. I got a beagle pug mix.
He's the asshole.
Yeah, is he? His face ain't even on the screen. He's like, I don't want to do it. I'm curling up. But
There you
anyway,
go.
all right, Felicia. Well, thank you so much for giving me some time today. And
Thank you so much for asking me, James. And I wish you much
absolutely.
luck. And we'll
Thank
see you
you.
out in the clubs.
You know what? You will. And hopefully I could be blessed with being on a show with you someday. So thank you
For
again.
sure. That's going to happen. For sure. All right. Bye.
All right, Felicia. Bye. Thank you so much. Be safe.
You're
Safe
welcome.
travel.
You too.
All right. Well, there you go, everybody. The great Felicia Michaels in the OR room tonight and in New York City at the Stand on Mother's Day. And check out Perv on Amazon Prime, which I'm going to. She had me with the title and with the fact that Joey Diaz is in it and Philip Esparza. Great. Absolutely. And I'm going to let you guys go and have a great week. God, it looks like my nose is indented. Fuck, man, I just wish I was good looking. All right, guys. Love you. Peace and love.